Hello, this is Robert. I'm going to go ahead and give you a demo of the program. This is the second or third time that I've tried this, so hopefully I get it going here. Okay, so you'll see up here at the top is the website is exabyteweb.com. This is not the customer's name. This is just what I'm using as far as our development purposes. When it comes time for me to actually put it onto the customer's site, I will rename it. And but as far as for our development, we won't need that. So I'm going to give everybody a login to the database. If you have Chrome, it'll automatically want to save that for you, so you don't have to type it in every time. So I would recommend that. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. All right. I want to press F12 on the keyboard, and you'll see this value here. You'll have a person's name, and you'll have a GUID. Okay, so what I've started doing in the program is using something for a global variable. I think it was called behavior or something or other, and I was able to take that value and bring it from page to page. And that's what I want you to do is when you see that, or if you can capture the value that I'm using here on the login or on the main page, then you want to go ahead and try to capture that throughout the application to utilize it. It's going to be very important for you to pass in this GUID value, because then you'll be able to get a set of data just for that person logging in. There will be a case where we'll want to get the data for all the people, for example, like the dashboard, but not in this case. We may have dashboards that are just specific to the people, and we're going to get into that later on. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this up. So everybody is familiar with the Fuse template. There's 3 guys now on the project, and I want to have you each be able to see where we're at, and then we're going to talk about the next, where we go next. So when I logged in, you can see I have the user, and I can log out. I've scaled this template down pretty much just so that I can do a demo. We're going to add things back over time. The box here, just keep an eye on these. We're going to put some kind of status there. So it'll come probably in a couple of weeks. I have a demo planned towards the end of the month of March, probably 30 days from now. Today is February 23rd. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to pull that off. So we're going to skip that for now. The important pieces are over here. What you can see is that I've scaled down quite a bit. There's hardly nothing here, and I'll get into that. So dashboards, as you know, project, calendar those are working. The calendar is working, so we don't have to go into that. And the contacts is working in where it's getting data from the database. What I need your help with is that I assigned one person to take on the file manager. And so as far as this is concerned, we need you to be able to upload a file. If we can't upload a file, we're going to hide this button for now. I need to provide you the ability to do a file stream. And again, if we can't get to it right now, we'll get to it at a later time. There is another mechanism that will feed the files. The files are scanned in on a photocopier and then sent to us through FTP, and I've got someone else working on that process right now. So the files will be there. So what I need you to be able to do is to delete a file and to download a file. And it looks like this more thing, there's really nothing there. Okay, so as you click on some things, I don't know if you can actually reorganize them or not, but let me know what features we can put into this application for that. And then I guess a find would be nice, a feature. Um, and then I don't know if any of these other features can be programmed, so I need your help on that. Okay, next. We have this thing called file control. File control, this particular page is a copy of the to-do page. And everything is going to be driven around a file control. What is a file control? It's basically like a file folder. As you can see here, select the file. It's like a file folder, whereas the person who's actually working on the task is going to have papers inside the file. They're going to have, like where the file manager is concerned, and they're going to have pictures inside the file. They're going to have communications with the customer inside the file. So instead of it being papers all over the place, it's going to be in here. So what we're doing here is we're creating a file with a control number, and then we're putting in some information, as you can see here. So this is like PO numbers. This is release numbers, and we're going to get into all that. The client name and shipper and things like that. When it comes to this particular one, it needs to be an autocomplete. So I don't have autocomplete working here. I was trying something, and then I just don't have the time to do it all. What I would like you to do is for every autocomplete, wherever it is in the application, is to use the material design autocomplete. I will send the data to you through the web API. I was able to do something a while with another control from Kendo, but we don't have Kendo here. And so that's what we need. So when it comes to client, you'll call the contact web service. So I wanted to show you something else, and something you probably can't see in this screen, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this down so you can see it. You have the Exabyte website, and we are going to be using the Exabyte web service. But if you go there, it's just a regular nothing there. So if you click on this other one, it says Exabyte web service / Swagger. So just type in Swagger. If you don't know what this is, it's kind of nifty. What it allows me to do is to expose the web services. So if we're looking for contact, for example, I go to contacts and I can see all of the HTTP types. Okay, I can update one, I can get the list, I can get it by filter, things like that. So again, the contacts is working. So at least on the application, but you'll need to be able to get a list of contacts, and I need to add some more stuff in there. So I'll be doing that this weekend. Okay, back to the program. So file control is pretty important. There is another video I'm going to make just for the file control, very simply, but I wanted to show you that. There's going to be more fields, and I wanted to point out on every where there is a date, I want them to be the date pop-ups, okay? Whereas they could put in a date themselves and also have the date pop-up. So you'll need to do that. And where I specify in the actual documentation for you to develop, I'll specify this is a date pop-up or this is an autocomplete, and I'll get to that shortly. Okay, so the screen here, this file control screen is just like the to-do. You'll need to make sure that you have this wired up just like I have. If you go to the to-do, you'll see that I've got all these things working with the database, and you'll want to do the same thing with the file control. Most likely it is working. You'll just have to verify it is. we're going to get the invoice and things like that, and I'm going to talk about these in the next video. But in this uh, air freight, there's a couple of menus that we're going to hide. So whoever gets this, if you could just go ahead and hide these three. But there are 8 pages, and I'm going to explain those in future videos per per page. So what I need you to do is to bear with me. This weekend I'm going to start creating the web services for as much as I can, and then we're going to build that over time. Um, but I do need to get the file control done and the file manager done, and then someone needs to start on the first page of the airway bill. What we're basically building is a way to collect information for a shipping company, and they build these things called airway bills. It's AWB, and we're going to get into all of that stuff later on. I'm not 100% knowledgeable about the industry. I have worked with the industry a little bit, but that's where I will sit with a customer, ask them more information, and then we'll go from there. This is a moderate sized project. It's going to go on for a couple of months. So I will be getting more money from the customer, but the initial money is already given to me, and I'm going to then provide it to you, but I need you guys to bid on the projects, and we'll go from there. All right, where we go. All right, so I do have a lot more kind of to talk about. We will stop this video here so I can get on to the next one where I'm going to explain a little bit about the spreadsheet. And I don't know if this to-do search works. Yeah, it does. Okay, good. So anytime that you have a search capability, we want to go ahead and utilize that. So under the contacts, I know we had, something working there, and we could take that off, and you could add new contacts. I did want to point out one thing when we actually get to the forms. There's a forms area over here, and on this particular screen here in this reactive form, there is no add button, so we need to add one. I'm going to flip over to the calendar section here for a second. Inside calendar, there's a button here, and I would like to use either that button or another button to do the add. So I'm going back to the forms, and you'll have 2 types of sections, and I'm going to explain that in the next video, but you're going to have a grid section, kind of like a contact page. You have a grid there, or you'll have, like the file control, you'll have a smaller grid with data that's going to flow over here to the right side. And that's where this page comes in. Okay, it's a reactive forms. You'll have a place to put your input, and then have a grid or have some kind of statuses. So I do want to keep the 2 cards like that, but they'll grow with more data. So we'll want to go ahead and do that. And it comes down to the horizontal stepper or the vertical stepper. I don't see us using those just yet. They will come most likely, but not yet. Okay. I think I did talk about this here. I do want to use all of the material design capabilities, and everybody on this team is an expert at what they do. The 3 guys are experts on the UI. I am good with the web API, so you'll be keeping me busy. And hopefully I have enough work done so that you can keep you busy. There is enough work to keep us busy for a couple of months. After we finish the airway bill, we need to move on to the shipper bill, and then the trucking bill, and then the pickup, and then the courier, and my gosh, there's enough to keep us busy for a year. So the other thing I wanted to point out is when you have a form name, when I give you a form name like we have here for air consolidation, I want it to go up here. This user interface, we're going to go ahead and probably lose that and I don't know if this clicks anywhere, but I do want to have the name of the form.